And I got really emotional, and so did my mom. We were going from the first location to the second location. And the second location, Gailey, are you ready for this? We were right by USC.
Oh no. I know where this is
Mhm.
going.
Yep. We were right by USC, and we are about to pull into base camp, and my mom grabs my arm, and I look at her. We are across the street from the apartment building that I lived in that night that I almost took my own life. I have not been anywhere near that vicinity. I usually stay a good quarter mile away just because I can't even look at that. I know I'm getting emotional because I can't even look at that building without remembering where I was mentally. And my trailer literally looked out over the roof line where I lived and where that moment was. And so I was talking to the team at Lululemon is amazing. And the girl I work with, her name's Ashley. She's fantastic. And she looked at my mom and I and she's like, "Are you guys good?" And I explained to her. And then she starts tearing up. And I was like, "You guys, this is absolutely wild how full circle this entire experience is." And it was the day that I was announcing that I left Peloton, all of the everybody talking. Then I'm on set and I'm
And the
looking at where.
campaign is for mental health, like World
Yes.
Mental Health Awareness. Like, talk
Yep.
about full I have full goosebumps on all of
With
my
Matt.
arms and legs right now. Like, talk about
Yep.
a full circle moment. That's like, it's like a
Mhm.
God wink. It's like the universe
It
being
was.
like, "I got you, kid. Like, keep going."
Yeah. It was such a moment as to like, and I told my mom this and I was so humbled by it. I was like, wow, because that night didn't go the way that it could have. This was the whole reason for that journey. And now we're talking about these stories and I'm doing the work and building something really special to do even more in mental health and having these conversations, but it was because of that place. And it's wild because in all the gin joints in all the world and all of the locations we could have been filming at in LA, the fact that we were right there. Literally, I'm looking, it just was unbelievable. You couldn't make it up. And then the next day when we were filming, we were right by where I worked when I worked at Snapchat. We were on the beach by where I lived. Like every location was a spot that was formative in both my mental health chapter, but also my personal journey living in LA. So I'm really excited for this campaign. The photos are out now. I think the digital spot is already on like YouTube and such, but then there's going to be even more commercials and stuff. So if you guys hear my voice when you're watching TV, particularly football this year, what up? Yeah, but it's really special to me because of what it stands for and what this campaign means.
That is so freaking badass, and like, it couldn't happen to a more deserving person and like soul, and somebody who's like genuinely has walked the walk. And I I like, it's crazy too that like the whole process of filming like the biggest campaign you've ever had, with the fact that the intent is for mental health awareness, and it brought you on this kind of like, I don't know, this like blast from your past where you like revisited all these different steps of like how you got here. And it just gives me chills. You're just reminded how like not in control you actually are, and that everything
Mhm.
that's happening is happening the way it's supposed to be. And if it feels really, really awful and you feel like you don't want to go on for some reason, you're supposed to be feeling that, but you're also supposed to go on. Like, you're supposed to
Yeah,
push through the really hard stuff because eventually it passes, and you might be shooting a commercial for Lululemon, like with
yeah,
your mom by your side cheering you on, right?
yeah,
And you wouldn't get that experience if you hadn't pushed through. So I'm just
yeah.
so freaking proud of
Everything
you.
passes.
Yeah.
Everything is this too shall pass. There's this really interesting interview that Tom Hanks, he gives this advice. It's like an actors roundtable. I think that Hollywood Reporter or Variety does right around award season. And this was from last year. And he was like, what advice would you give someone younger in the business? And obviously he's had such an illustrious career, all of that. And he was saying, he's like, my advice is this too shall pass. He said, if it's really bad, if it's really uncomfortable, if you're getting bad press or it's going terribly, this too shall pass. But he goes, but also when you're on top of the world and when you're getting all the attention and all the accolades and everything's going your way, this too shall pass. And we go through those phases in life. There's always going to be the highs, there's always going to be the lows. The only thing we know is that it keeps moving. And so I think there's a peace that comes with that when you recognize, and I really believe this, no matter what you believe spiritually or whatnot, and who or whatnot's in control. But for me, it's like I do believe everything is in your favor. even the tough stuff. Like, you're meant to grow from it. You're meant to, um, be guided and be experienced from it and get tougher from it, or become softer from it, right? That's part of the game too. So, no matter what you're going through, it's going to pass, so you might as well be as present as you possibly can. It's easier said than done, but I think it's so important.
It's true. We have highs and we have lows, and we go through these phases, but eventually this too shall pass. It's
Mhm.
important though too to remember like what you've learned along the way that helps make those lows a little less low,
Mhm.
and maybe helps extend those highs a little bit longer, like being present in it, being grateful for it. I think that something I heard the other day, actually, I want to say it was like a Instagram post, like a quote from Harry Styles or something like that, but it
Mhm.
said, I think he said in an interview that he doesn't believe a single compliment anybody gives him or that they write on his posts or whatever, because if he believes all the compliments, then he has to believe all of the hate. So when
Yeah.
somebody tears him down or says something awful, he has to believe that, because no brain can really cut it off where it only chooses to believe the good things, because if you really believe them, then deep down you are really also going to believe the awful things, because you're putting merit into what other people say. So
Yeah.
that's something that like has helped me with the lows more recently, is I try not to like read too many of the comments, or if I do read something really nice or really negative, I've already decided that that's their opinion, but it's not fact. And I just need to keep going.
Yeah, that's yeah, the importance of, like, pouring into yourself and understanding, like, you and the small unit of people who truly know you and really do truly love you, those are the only opinions that can matter. Everything else, human beings, we're not built for glory. We don't have the mental capacity to be, like, put up on a pedestal and be normal by it. Like, I really deeply believe that. That's why I think, like, celebrity culture and all that can be pretty damning and
Yeah.
pretty scary, because we don't have the capacity to deal with that kind of reverence personally. So, I think containing all of that and understanding all of those other things, that can be wonderful if people wanna say nice things. It can feel terrible if people wanna say mean things. But at the end of the day, the truth is simply who you believe and who you know you are, and the little actions you do throughout every single day that solidify that. So I'm with you.